Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions. How about those Chiefs?
Welcome to the Kingdom Corner, a Victory Monday here in the Kingdom Corner with Dale and Andrew. Yesterday was maybe a much tougher game than we expected. Well, maybe not maybe. It was a much tougher game. Our score predictions were a little bit off. One of us got the 24 right, but neither of us got the other one right. So
you were close. I
was close. I said 24-37 was mine, and is 24-30. Yes, 24. Yeah, 24-30, right?
No, they didn't kick the extra point because it was overtime, so 29. Or is it 30? Yeah, it is 30. You're right.
24 plus 6.
Hey. I went to seminary, not math college.
I was just about to say, it's that seminary education coming in.
That's right, it is.
Yeah, so 24-30 was the final score. So
that took way too long.
It did. All right, Dale, how you feeling about this game?
Man, this is Yellow Monday. All right. Because let's just get into the penalties. I mean, that killed us. We had I think we had double the yards. Chiefs had 502 total yards. Texans had 219 total yards, but we had over 100 yards of penalties. And so I think Yellow Monday for us, because man, that has to get cleaned up. And then that was just terrible. And a lot of it was, I think it feels like that referee crew refs the Chiefs a little different. But also there was some things that were blatant and they should have been called, but there was some things that weren't called for the Chiefs. Like I didn't think you could pick up a guy and spear him. I didn't think you could, and then put your whole body weight on him. I mean, I thought that was the whole thing. And then Juju was taking some bad hits. And then the sack on Mahomes, that was violent.
Yes.
Just super violent. And we said earlier, that's how Tua got hurt, just in the same way. And so I think that's the last thing we want is players being injured on the field, especially the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Brady has gotten that call this year for roughing the passer by being thrown down and spun around like that. At least twice this year, Mahomes has been tackled like that, including yesterday, and he has yet to get that call. You can see he's putting his arms up like, where's the call? Where's the flag for that? And nothing. And so
you think Andy Reid or Bieniemy needs to start barking at the refs for that a little more, pleading the case?
Well, I think they got to start doing something, especially against that crew. So here's the stat for you for the day.
Okay.
The Chiefs have had 10 penalties or more only twice this year. The Monday night game against the Raiders and yesterday against the Texans. Both games had the same reffing crew.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's when it's only happening twice in a year and both times it's that same crew, is just maybe they just played a little bit tougher because the Chiefs try to play a more physical game maybe. I mean, I don't know, but it just seems inconsistent if nothing else.
Yes, inconsistent is a good word, is a great word. So just craziness. But Yellow Monday. Here we go. Take away 100 yards from that. So it's crazy to think about all those yards and all those penalties. And a lot of those penalties kept drives for the Texans or stalled out drives for the Chiefs.
Yep. Absolutely it did. Absolutely. And first downs by penalty for the Texans were 5. The Texans had 5 first downs just by penalties alone.
And I think it was on one of the touchdown drives where Mills ran it in. Right?
I think there's at least 2 that they got. I mean, there's that pass interference one, which was a legitimate call when he was pulling that jersey back. That gave him a first down right there, on the 5 or close to it, which they got a touchdown. And so there's several of those. But the other big thing, even beyond penalties, is turnovers. Turnovers killed the Chiefs against the Texans. The Texans had 14 points off the Chiefs' 2 turnovers. So when teams are putting up touchdowns off your turnovers, it is not a good sign.
No. Yeah, 14 points is exactly right. That's the killer. So when you turn the ball over, you don't want to give any points, but they gave up 14. And so my question to you, Pacheco, what do we do? Four fumbles. What do you do?
Yeah. I'll get to that one thing too. I'll just point out that the Texans, who almost beat the Cowboys, almost beat them also because they won the turnover battle.
Yeah.
So same kind of recipe here against the Chiefs. But your Pacheco question, I mean, I think you got to still play him. I mean, I know your point is, 1 fumble, 2 fumble, 4 fumbles is too many. I get
too many,
that.
too many.
But the other side is, who are you going to play? I mean,
Jones, McKinnon.
Yeah. But think about who's going to get those tough yards though. Like really, who's going to get them? Because I think they've been trying that all year. CEH, whenever he comes back from his injury, I don't know that he can get those. I mean, he was trying him early this year. He hasn't. McKinnon's a great speed guy, but he's not getting those tough yards. I mean, he just outruns you and tries to get you off balance to get around you. And he's great at that. He's great at that.
What do you always tell me? We have a $500 million quarterback.
Yeah.
How about we let him run? Get those tough yards and passes. I know what you mean. We have to be balanced, and Pacheco is good, but it's just like make him carry around a football through the practice facility and all through the building, and people try to knock it out. If he gets it knocked out, he doesn't play. I don't know, but something's got to change because man, that wasn't even like a big hit. That was just lost the ball.
Yeah, well, here's the other side, too. If you want to talk about fumbles, what about Travis Kelce and Juju? What do you do with them? They've fumbled the ball at least twice this year.
Yeah, well.
So what do you do with them? Are you benching them?
No, I'm not benching anybody. I'm not on the coaching staff. I'm just saying what we're going to do.
What would you do, though?
Well, Juju's fumble was that fumble this past game was not a real fumble, I don't think.
Yeah, because he got picked up and slammed down.
Yeah, I think that should have been unnecessary roughness. It didn't matter what happened afterwards. And so I don't, when you get picked up off the ground and then driven into the ground, this isn't WWE. And I thought, man, they were hitting Juju hard.
Man,
those Texans were playing hard. They were hitting hard hits. I mean, you heard a lot of helmet clacking through the game.
Yeah, I think that game against the Cowboys gave the Texans life thinking we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
Because the Texans just about pulled off a win against the Cowboys, who a lot consider to be one of the better teams in the league. And then the Chiefs allowing the Texans to hang around for as long as they did. And, granted, because of turnovers. But either way, the Chiefs allowing the Texans to hang around for so long just gave them more confidence that they could compete with anybody. And then when you have a team that doesn't have but one win on the season and they get confidence that they can beat anybody, you better believe they're going to be playing hard because they're playing for pride and they want to win as much as anybody. So they're going to be coming out a lot harder.
And then some of these guys this is their last year deals, and so they're putting good plays on the tape and making sure that they get seen and maybe picked up by another team or what have you. So credit to the Texans for coming out and playing hard. Chiefs, were I think again when you talk about this penalty, sleepwalking until Travis Kelce kind of woke him up with that 15-yard personal foul.
Yeah. And even so, I'm not saying that he shouldn't have pushed him because he should not have. But at the same time, when Travis Kelce is already down and then trying to get up and somebody pile drives you back into the ground, maybe not pile drive, but pushes you back into the ground, what do you expect them to do at that point? Do you expect them just to get him like, you know what? You're right. Just keep doing that.
Yeah.
But the rest have got to step in at some point and say, you know what? You shouldn't have done that. But I mean, that's right where the play happened. How are the refs not seeing that? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that the refs can't see everything, but that's right where the ball was, right where the play ended. And you don't see that he was getting up and pushed back into the ground. I mean, where's the consistency? Back to our first point. Where's the consistency?
Yeah, I think it's that roughing crew is not very consistent. And so they think it should be an offsetting. The guy shouldn't have done that. Travis Kelce, like you said, shouldn't have got up and pushed him. Yeah, should have just looked for a ref and say, "Hey, come on, what are you doing?" And then I don't think they would have called anything anyway because that was that kind of reffing crew. They don't call anything for the Chiefs. It seemed like they only called the blatant things like the false starts on and like a big hold on Chris Jones. I mean, like you could the guy moved his body when he was trying to get away, and so I think they had we got to call this or this is going to be look bad on us. So hopefully that reffing crew doesn't get a playoff game. How about that?
Absolutely. I'd take that. So here's the question, though. The Chiefs now have had several turnovers, 3 in last week's game, 2 in yesterday's game.
Yeah.
What do we do? Is there anything we can do to stop the turnover bleed? And the other side, is there anything we can do to start forcing turnovers? Because we've forced very few turnovers this year.
I think we're +6 now in the turnover.
+6 or -6?
-6. So -6. Yeah. We're not. Yeah, we're -6, and we're 11-3.
Yeah. Usually, if you have a negative turnover ratio, you are not having a winning record.
And then the other thing was pretty cool. I didn't know this, that the Chiefs lead the league in batted balls. So, but back to your question. So what do we do about the turnover bleed? I think Andy Reid addressed it in the post-game press conference. He goes, we got to clean it up. I think the good news that we can take away from this game is Pat took care of the ball, actually ended the game with, I think you tweeted out 20 completions. And so that's pretty impressive.
20 straight completions.
20 straight completions. 20 straight completions. And so that's Pat did. I think he did what was good. He took what they were giving him. Our wide receivers, when you get a play when you get a ball like that, you got to catch it. And who didn't flatten their route but kept going up?
That was MVS. So
MVS. But I think he did the right play.
I want to say I think MVS ran the right route because there's nobody deep, and he ran it, the slant instead of flattening it out, and Pat just misread it or misthrew it or something, but just off. But yeah, that would have been another walk-in touchdown if they complete that.
Oh yeah. So there was just a lot of. I think the turnover thing, Andy Reid's going to address it. The coaching staff will address the penalties, and hopefully we can clean those up. We got 3 more games before the playoffs. That Raiders game is looking more dangerous.
Yes, it
is. The further we go, and so hopefully we don't choke. But it is. Is it? No, it is in Arrowhead, isn't it? No,
it's in.
It's in Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. I keep wanting to say Oakland. I know they're not in Oakland anymore, but I always get a little tongue-tied talking about the Chargers and the Raiders because they've been in those other cities for so long. But yes, the Vegas Raiders now. So the Chiefs had to go to overtime to beat a Texans team with 1 win on the season, and they had a tie this year too. So there's that. But either way,
right,
the bottom team in the league, the Chiefs had to go to overtime with, and part of it's because it's turnover. But here's my question. So the final drive the Chiefs have, they're driving down. They get close, not all the way there, but they get close there towards the end. And then all of a sudden, Harrison Butker comes out, right?
Right.
And he's attempting, what is it, like a 51-yard line. So
51.
They're at the Houston 33-yard line. It's 4th and 12. But even before that play, they got basically past the 50 and into what they thought was Butker's range. And instead of pushing the ball, instead of trying to get that first down, they're just running the ball. They're playing for a field goal at that point.
Right.
Once you're running it with that little time left, because there's less than a minute left probably at that point or something. Let's see. There's a minute 45 left when they got the first down at the Houston 31.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time, a minute 45.
Yeah.
For Mr. Patrick Mahomes. So a minute 45 left. You have a 1st and 10 from the Houston 31-yard line. Are you playing for the field goal there with that much time, or are you playing for a touchdown?
Yeah, and I think they were playing for the touchdown, but Pat got sacked. Right? Is that where he got sacked on 3rd down and kind of knocked him out because he lost a bunch of yards? But I could be thinking of a different time. But I think he got sacked, and that kind of ruined. Do you just go for it? Because it was like 3rd and 4 or something like that, and then it was like 4th and 16, and they kicked the field goal. Is that right? Am I crazy?
So the first play, they ran a ball with McKinnon for negative 3 yards.
Yeah, and they did like a screen, right? Screen.
The second one, Mahomes ran it for 2 yards.
Okay.
So that was kind of a scramble play. Then 3rd down, it was a screen pass to McKinnon
that's what it was.
for negative 1 yard. So I count screens the same as playing it safe as a run. because that's what Andy Reid does when he gets a lead also in the fourth quarter. He goes run, screen.
Yeah. Which usually works.
Well, you might
not in this case, not when you're not when they're expecting it.
But I think the teams are starting to expect it, which is why that doesn't work against most teams. They run screens, then have to punt it back instead of running the clock out. And then have to make us fans stress out about who's going to actually win this game, because I don't know if our defense can stop it right now.
Yeah.
So in that case, I don't think I'm doing that. I am still going to be pushing the ball down the field, trying to score a touchdown.
Right.
We have Patrick Mahomes, the number one player in the NFL, a $500 million player.
$500 million player. Here we go.
And you're going to tell me that our best option is to run it and throw screen passes?
Yeah, no. I think a lot of it, is, and I feel like Travis Kelce and Juju are the same player. I don't think we're stretching the field enough. Travis Kelce, none of his catches were past 9 yards, I don't think. I think the furthest one he caught was 9 yards, and he ran. He scampered for a little bit, but I think we need to get more. And then, again, I think our offensive line looked terrible. So it just did not know how to pick up a rush. And so that's not good news. We got a lot to clean up. And I made a lot of promises about this team at the beginning of the year, and I'm hoping they can clean that up. But man, they did not look sharp. And I feel like this is a theme or a consistent thing where we're like, week after week, they don't look sharp, but they find a way. They find a way to win. And so, but I think we've got to remember that a lot of those Patriot games where Tom Brady won were by 3 points. It wasn't like a dominant fashion where he was just blowing teams out every week, except for that one year where he had Randy Moss.
Yeah,
they
very true.
So I think we got to pump the brakes on our expectations of them winning every game big. I think Vegas has got to figure out, quit putting 14-point spreads on for the games. And then,
but when you play the worst team in the league, do you really expect to go to overtime? Should you really expect to be able to just win by one possession?
If
you have Super Bowl aspirations, should we really expect that team to go and play the worst team in the NFL in a one-score game or overtime game? I don't think that's.
But I mean, like, you got to think like
it's not unrealistic to expect more.
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, look at the Bengals. The Bengals struggled with Tampa Bay for a while, and then Tampa Bay couldn't do anything. I think it's just one of those things with the league. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was impressed with the Houston Texans. I couldn't believe that they were 1-11-1 or whatever they were, or 1-12-1 or whatever they are. I could not believe. I mean, I thought, my goodness, this defense is flying around, making hard hits. And so I was just surprised that they were I don't think their record represents them very well on who they are. Now, I mean, I thought the Chiefs did a great job with the defense where they got Driscoll out there. I mean, Driscoll didn't play much of the second half, and so he wasn't doing anything, which was a good thing.
Yeah,
they put Mills in.
Yep, they had that one drive where they were putting Driscoll in a lot when they went down and ended up scoring a touchdown on that one. But after that, every time Driscoll was in, the Chiefs were playing the run against him. He had a few passes, but they were playing the run, and they shut that down enough to make Lovie Smith, the Texans coach, to say, all right, we're done with that.
Yeah.
But
to answer your question, all right, answer your question. Yes, we can expect more. But I don't think if we're standing there with the Lombardi at the end, we're not going to look back to the Texans game like, I can't believe they went into overtime, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Okay,
all
right.
But my thing is, and this leads me to my question.
Okay.
Are we playing down to our competition? Because, this week against the Texans, last week against the Broncos, some of the on paper, at least, some of the worst teams in the NFL, and we're in one-score games with these guys.
Well, and I think
so are we playing down? And the reason I asked, are we playing down? Because I think if we continue to play down, we kind of lose that edge as we enter the playoffs.
Yeah. So I think it goes back to our conversation we just had. It's not so much playing down; it's the ball security, right? The ball security.
That's
so
true.
The Broncos, 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
We can go back and we can look at how many points they got off that, but it was 27-0. Pat threw 2 interceptions. It's 14-27 going to half. He throws in, bad calls. And then same with the Texans. They get 14 points off 2 fumbles. And so short fields and they go down and they score. But I think it's ball security. And then we talked again the penalties, whether they're right or wrong, you have to make adjustments in the game. Like, okay, this ref is going to call everything on me. And so I need to make sure that I'm not touching him whatsoever. And I know that makes it harder, but you just got to clean that up. And I think hopefully the Chiefs can clean up. It'd be interesting to see how they play with 0 turnovers opposed to one. Like we said, that they're +6 turnovers in the turnover battle. We aren't getting -6. Sorry, yeah, same thing, right? -6 in the turnover battle, where our defense, like you've said, I think week after week, is like we have to start turning the ball over on getting the ball on defense.
Yeah,
because we're not helping our offense, especially when we do turn the ball over. I think the defense needs to be like, all right, we got to get it back for them.
Yeah. And the other thing I point out about the defense too is that our pressure on the quarterback is inconsistent game to game.
Oh man!
And I mean, last week we get what was it, 5 or 6 sacks?
6 sacks.
This week had 1 sack.
Yeah,
against a team that, I mean, in fairness, they gave up 0 sacks against the Cowboys the week before too. But at the same point, we got to get some pressure on those young quarterbacks.
We have to get pressure.
When we have such a young secondary, especially in our corner positions, I mean, you can't expect any secondary, no matter how great they are, to cover anyone for 7, 8, 10 seconds. And so you give anybody that much time, someone's going to get open and someone's going to get the ball thrown to them, and it's going to be a completion. So you have to get some pressure on that quarterback.
Well, we're getting in playoffs. I mean, the only way to beat good quarterbacks in the playoffs is pressure. Yeah. Right. If it's going to be a shootout. And we've seen that. It goes 50-50 for the Chiefs. Tom Brady, Mahomes shootout because they got no pressure on Tom Brady. Burrow, no pressure on Burrow. He beats us. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it looks right now like Justin Herbert's going to be in the playoffs. Joe Burrow's going to be in the playoffs. Josh Allen's going to be in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson's going to be in the playoffs. It's looking like if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, it might be an early season. Might be an early exit. I hate to say it, Chiefs fans. Listen, Kingdom, I am pulling for the Chiefs, but let's be realistic here. If we can't get pressure, that just puts more pressure on the offense to like, okay, we got to score every time. You get extra yards. What happens? Travis Kelce fumbles. Juju gets speared. He fumbles. It's just like Pacheco fumbles. I got to do more and more. I think it puts pressure on our offense.
Yep, I would absolutely agree with that. So we have to get more pressure on the quarterback. Our defense has got to start forcing some more turnovers and getting some bigger stops. I mean, they're getting big stops when they need it, but they're not getting them consistently enough, which is why all these games are coming down to the last possession. So, but we'll take the win either way. Still a victory Monday.
We'll take it down, right?
Still victory Monday, or as you called it, a yellow Monday. So whatever it may be, we'll take the victory either way. So we're glad that
let's mention 7 consecutive division titles.
That's right. 7 consecutive division titles. That is hard for any team to do, no matter what division you play in. But especially when playing the AFC West and during the one off season, and this last one in particular, all these other teams throw billions. I don't know how billions and millions, but maybe at least millions and millions and millions of dollars
millions and millions.
Trying to beat the Chiefs. And here we go. What we have, 3-4 weeks left. And
3 weeks.
The Chiefs have already secured that division title. So we'll take it. So thanks for joining us in this episode of the Kingdom Corner. We are glad to have a victory Monday here against the Houston Texans. And we're coming up this next week on Christmas Eve. We'll be facing off against the Seattle Seahawks. We'll be previewing that later this week. So join us again for that. We'll see you next time right here in the Kingdom Corner.